All right, everybody, welcome back to another episode of Uncalled For. Today, after another fucking couple weeks of not bringing you anything, we've decided to try and be better again. I can't tell you how many times I've said that in every episode, but from here on out, we'll make another promise to be better.
Hopefully.
Um, yeah, so I mean, today Trey and I are just going to talk a lot about like what's been going on in the soccer world. I mean, there's a lot of transfers going on, a lot of teams making moves, a lot of, um,
Drama.
yeah, I mean, a lot of drama, I guess. A lot of drama that almost happened, and Messi leaving Barcelona. I mean, what did you think he was gonna go? Like, did you really think he was gonna leave Barcelona?
Um, it's just one of those things where it's just like it sounds good, but there's just I mean to anybody, like there's just so much more that would have had to happen. Like, obviously the league would have had to approve of that. Barcelona would have had to been willing to sell him in the first place, and with the way that that squad is going, Messi is kind of the person that's keeping that club together.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and it's just there's just a lot.
Well, it's kind of like I thought it would be cool if he left, but only be. I mean, I'm a United fan. I would have fucking hated for him to go to City,
Yeah.
but you know, I always thought. Well, I just want to say this for anybody that actually thinks that he can't cut it in the Premier League. I want people to remember that Danny Ings just scored what 22 goals in the league this past year and looked unstoppable. You mean to tell me that Messi, well, top two best players of all time, depending on if you pick Ronaldo or him, but they're the best two ever. You don't think that he could do well in the Premier League because it's too physical? You know what I mean? It's like, and then
Mm.
another thing where you look at it. Look at his numbers against the Premier League teams in the Champions League. I mean, that's a direct comparison. He plays against them. I think he has like 26 games played and like 21 goals and like 8 assists. So he's almost averaging a goal a game. He has more of he has at least a goal contribution every single game. And you mean to tell me when he starts playing, teams like Brighton or Burnley, the lower
You can even throw
the
in Arsenal.
sure, maybe yeah, a team that opens it up more, you know, that he's not going to score a goal or have an assist. People forget that he just set the record for assists in the La Liga season last year. That's something Xavi never did, Iniesta never did, Zidane never did, um, Ronaldo never did, Modric has never done, Cruz has never done. Um, I mean, just go down the list. Iniesta, anybody, nobody's ever done it, you know, and or had a better assist record.
I
And
think
Messi plays as a winger.
I think
But
you also got to look at the team that he would also be going into also at City also, uh De Bruyne. People
yeah,
say he's the best well, probably the best midfielder in the world, and he's in his
easily,
prime.
hands down.
Um, uh, you know, Aguero at striker, Raheem Sterling on the other side of the field.
Well, what I think might have ended up happening, because here's what Guardiola did when he was at Barcelona. He had Messi playing as a center forward.
Mm.
I actually think Aguero steps out of the team. I think he probably
Well,
has Mares and Sterling out wide, kind of feeding, interchanging between the three of them. That's what I think would happen, and I think that would get the most out of the team. Um, Especially Maguire is awesome, but I think he would make the team revolve around Messi instead of Aguero.
I was going to say some of the transfer rumors that I saw was that City had offered Bernardo Silva and a few other players. So I don't. I was thinking to me that was saying that Messi would probably play right wing, and I mean, I don't. I guess it kind of. I don't know. I guess it kind of would be hard to let Aguero go. I mean, because when he's healthy, I mean, he always somehow manages to be
Well,
top three in the league in score and
yeah,
goals
I mean,
scored.
maybe not letting him go, but maybe him having a rotational kind of
Hmm.
role.
Yeah,
Like maybe some games Messi plays center forward, other games he plays out wide and has Aguero up the middle. But the thing is the numbers will look different because Aguero is not going to be getting all the goals. That's going to be Messi. Messi will just, I mean, maybe it is a little different, but look at international play. Aguero is in his shadow 100%.
yeah.
So, and I think that would just be the same. And Guardiola, I mean, we know how much we've seen what he could do with Messi. I mean, I think it was the second to last season, the 2012 season. Messi scored 91 goals in a calendar year under Guardiola. 91. And I think that season he scored. Fuck, how many goals did he? I want to say he scored 60 league goals in the 2012 season. Looking that up right now.
Yeah, that's
It's unreal. Um, yeah, so the 2012 calendar year, he scored 91 goals in 69 games.
mm.
Like, and
And just imagine what he
he
would
scored
do.
he scored 50 times in La Liga that season. Only 50. Sorry.
And you also got to think too. Those are years where you can debate that Barcelona probably didn't even have like the strongest team in the league. You probably can make the argument that Real Madrid, but if Messi comes to the Premier League, that's automatically like, I mean, they probably already have the strongest team as it is right now as we
Well,
speak. But like,
I mean, I would say then Barcelona. I mean, I think that was absolute peak Messi as far as goal scoring, and I mean, Xavi and Iniesta were at their best then too. So I'd say, but on paper, I mean, Real Madrid were the Galacticos, and that was towards the tail end, because that next season after that is when Guardiola got destroyed by Bayern Munich and then kind of
mm,
kicked out. So, but anyway, I mean, it would have been awesome to see. Let me say, rephrase that. It would have been interesting to see what he could have done in the Premier League, because I think it'd be cool to see the best player. You want to see the best players in the Premier League usually,
I
and I
don't think
think,
it's. I think it'll still happen. I think
I,
he'll end up going next year.
well, yeah, I'll tell you this for sure. Next fucking year, because if that thing in his contract is real, well, if he gets to leave in June of every year by his choice for free, then I can tell you after this next year he's leaving for free in June, because
And it's going to be even worse.
yeah, and but well, the thing is, it's kind of sad to see. Did you see his interview he did
I saw
or
what
the
Goal
quotes?
did, but
The
I
well,
saw the quotes, but I never watched the whole interview.
yeah, he was saying basically that. I mean, I didn't, because I didn't, wasn't gonna watch all the subtitles, but but basically, I mean, he said that this year he couldn't leave in June because the season was still going on, and he wanted to leave after the season ended. He had been saying it for a while,
Oh yeah, I saw
and they
that.
and they
He
told him
said
that
for the
he would
whole year.
honor. He said they would honor it, and then apparently they ended up just lying to him. So didn't, and then he was hoping they would honor it once the season was over. Well, I mean that makes sense. I can't leave in June. The season's going on because of COVID. It gets pushed back, and then
Hmm.
okay, so you're gonna honor it in August, whatever. No, we're not going to now. And the thing is, you can't. I mean, it's in the contract. It's in legal. It's written. It's an illegal document in his contract that
And he brought
it has
lawyers
to
too,
be
right?
June. Well, and the thing. Well, here's the thing. Yeah, he had him look into it, and basically he would have had to have sued Barcelona, taken them to court. It would have been a whole big thing. And he said, "I don't want to take. I don't want to have a messy. Basically, I don't want to have a messy divorce. No
Yeah,
pun intended. Uh, but by taking him to court and ruining everything, and like he said, it was hard for his family because his kids don't want to leave and all that, but he feels like he needs to. But I thought what the most insane part about that was the last quote he said is that the way and the leadership that the president of the club is showing is an absolute disaster, and they have no idea what they're doing. the fact that he actually said that, because here's the thing, is like we all know professional athletes, like they talk a bunch of PR bullshit. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? It's like they are trained to say, yeah, somebody, well, what did you think about, was like, I'll give an example. So Mason Greenwood was asked about Harry Maguire getting arrested, and when he was on international duty, and he's like, well, and they asked him if he should still be captain, blah, blah. He's like, I don't know. Harry is a good guy. That's not my place to say, but we're just looking forward to having him back playing with us and safe. That's just some fucking PR shit. You know what I mean? It's like
Mm-hmm.
we all want to hear the real stuff, and I thought that was incredible for Messi. Like, you know, a player bigger than life. Says something like that about the president, and I think what will end up happening is that if he stays next year, it'll be because the club might just reorganize and say, you know what, we want you to stay, and whoever you want to get fired will
Yeah,
get fired.
yeah. Well,
Give
I
him the
know
ultimate power.
weren't they already like getting rid of a bunch of people?
Yeah, but the thing, I think part of it, Ronald Koeman coming in said that he didn't want to give Messi any special treatment, and I'm like, I get that to a point if for
Well,
normal teams.
you see what he said to Luis Suarez, right?
No.
He's not letting him train with the team.
Yeah, he has him and Vidal training independently away from the team because they're
Yeah.
getting ready to sell him. Which I agree with Suarez. Suarez had a terrible fucking year last year, and Vidal has passed it himself. I
Yeah,
agree
Vidal's
to move
done.
forward. They need to move them on. Um, but Messi not giving him special treatment. Like, we're not talking about just any kind of player here. We're not talking just about an above average or a great player. We're talking about a once in a lifetime type of player.
Yeah.
Somebody that has scored over 700 goals.
Yeah, I mean, it's understandable why Barcelona won't let him go. Because like I'm pretty sure I said this to you before. Once Messi leaves, that club is it's pretty much finished. I mean, not finished. It's Barcelona. They're
I
always
will.
going to be around, but
I'll be honest. They'll be like what United are. The what how say how like, and maybe not because La Liga's an easier. I don't want to say it's an easier league. I'd say as far as teams 1 through 20, it's an easier league. The top,
for yeah, La Liga, yeah,
the top four teams are really good. I'd say the top four La Liga teams are on average probably better than the Premier League's top four.
yeah.
You know, um, but usually the top four. So they'll be like a top four team every year, regardless. They might not be first or second.
Hmm.
They might be third, which
Behind,
maybe for behind Real Madrid and Atletico. You
yeah,
know, um,
Sevilla's pretty good too.
and Sevilla is good, and they're always in and around it. Valencia, teams like that, they always seem to be
Yeah,
tough teams in Europe whenever they play anybody. But they might be a thing like how United have never gotten over Alex Ferguson leaving. When you have somebody that almost embodies the club as a whole, that's been there for a long time, and they leave, sometimes when they leave, that little bit of magic that they have that was there with the club is gone too. That you lose an aura about them. You know what I mean? Where you look at Messi, it's
hmm,
like when you play against
like an
Barcelona.
identity.
Yeah, when you play against Barcelona, that's what you think. Oh, we got to play against Messi. Where United was like, oh, we got to play against Alex Ferguson. He's the best. Messi's the best. Like, when you leave him, it's like, okay, now they look beatable. More so. It's and especially what they have right now. Ousmane Dembele he might play fucking 5 games a year. How injury prone he is.
Griezmann's not. He's not Barcelona quality in my opinion.
No, and I mean, I feel bad for him because he's a good player. He's not a winger, and he got forced to play out wide. But he's not. He's not going to carry Barcelona to a.
Isn't Barcelona like? Well, this might sound stupid to say, but isn't Barcelona kind of like financially struggling too?
Yeah, because their fucking wages are ridiculous.
Yeah, I did see that. Well, I can't remember the exact number, but like
He makes over $1 million a week.
it's isn't it like close to 1.1 or something like that,
Yeah,
or might
that's how
even be
much.
over 1.1.
Yeah, he makes over $1 million a week, And I mean, would you say it's worth it? I'd say, yeah, it
Yeah,
probably is.
it is. I mean, considering that's pretty much like your whole team.
It's like, yeah, he scores a goal a game at least, and an assist a game almost at least, and creates probably 5, 6 chances a game. It's definitely worth it. And a million a week. Think of all the, jerseys and merchandise and all that kind of shit he sells too.
Sold out
It's
games every game.
definitely, yeah. Oh, yeah. Just having him on the. That's just like that's why MLS teams pay a shit ton of money for any kind of top name that comes over is because it sells seats. We were prime example of that. A Wayne Rooney coming to DC United.
Oh yeah, for
DC
sure.
United's been here most of our lives, and we've never. I mean, I'd never gone out of my way to care about him, but as a United fan, when I heard, and you're an Arsenal fan, but even hearing Wayne Rooney is going to
Yeah,
be at DC United, it's like, oh shit, that's like a guy that I've watched on TV is like one of the better players in the world at one point in time. Is like, that's awesome. I got to go see it. And
well, I saw well, it was like a proposed kind of like, well, not really proposed, but it was like a rumor where Messi would play like a certain amount of years at
yep,
Manchester City
well,
and
you
then
know
go to New
why?
York City FC.
They have the same owners,
Yeah, parent club.
so it was going to be some people were thinking it was kind of a money laundering thing that
Uh,
because City are like
there's always those kinds of people.
well, I mean, it made me laugh. I'm like, how is UEFA going to approve this transfer after they had just gotten off the hook of financial fair play? Like you just get off the hook of financial fair play, but then you're going to have a 700 million transfer. 700 and you haven't sold anybody. It's not like you sold fucking Sterling for 100 million or De Bruyne for fucking 200 million and then you buy him no, you didn't. You're just going to bring in a $700 million transfer and just tell people to deal with it.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? It just never made any sense to me. But um, but yeah, I mean, I guess for now the Messi saga's over. One could
Until
dream.
next year, at least.
Yeah, one could dream of him playing for our teams, but I've seen it going around on Twitter, and it would be a crime if he goes to City. United have to do everything they can to bring Ronaldo back to Old Trafford because the Manchester Derby will be. I couldn't even imagine it. You know what I mean? It's like bringing El Clasico to the Premier League. Oh,
He'll come to Arsenal.
who?
Ronaldo.
Yeah. Dude, you guys are having to lay people off from work in the front office because you can't. Like,
Hey,
let me bring in Ronaldo and let me fire half the rest of the staff.
we'll probably have to sell the stadium to afford
Yeah, sell
Ronaldo.
the stadium and cut the academy out.
I'll
Sorry, you
take all
guys.
the funds from the women's team.
I don't even think they probably make enough to even afford them. But yeah, I mean, anyway, the and if Ronaldo went to another Premier League team, he would be dead to me, 100%.
Nah.
Uh, he would be 100% dead
I
to
can
me.
see it though. I can see it. I can see him coming back to United.
Oh God, I can't tell you how.
Sort of like what Henry did
Yeah,
towards
but
the end of
I,
his career when he went to Arsenal. But I
but
mean,
I,
Ronaldo would be in better form than Henry did, I think, in my opinion.
yeah, but I can't tell you how fast I would buy a jersey. Like I
Or he
can't
can
even.
always come to the MLS.
Yeah, but imagine how fucking expensive tickets will be for that shit. I don't think he'll come to the MLS. To be honest with you, I think all that shit that he was dealing with that woman falsely accusing him of rape and shit here.
Yeah.
I don't think he'll come to the MLS. I actually picture him as being the type of player that when he feels that he can't compete at the best level, I don't think he'll play anymore. You know what I mean? Because he's such a prideful person that I don't imagine
And
him.
his son too, you know,
Yeah,
I would imagine he wants his son to kind of be around that competition also.
yeah. So I think he's such a proud person as far as his ability that I don't think he could ever let himself play in something he doesn't see as elite. But anyway, we're gonna drop the we can drop the messy conspiracy or messy drama till next summer, next June. We'll probably be all over that again and seeing what happens. But I only think
Yeah.
he's going one place. I'd be happy if he went to maybe PSG or something like that, but I, I don't know. I don't
Yeah,
see
City
the
sounds
point of
like the likely
having him go in
destination.
the
And it's
have
the
him go
Premier
to
League too, you know?
yeah have him go to PSG and score 200 goals a season. So in France, because that fucking league, like that league might be the worst league from top to bottom. Like the top couple teams, top few teams are pretty decent. I mean, obviously PSG are really good, but the other teams are pretty decent. But
Speaking of League One, you see where Memphis is linked to?
Barcelona,
Yeah, Barcelona.
yeah,
That'd be a nice signing.
well, I mean, Ronald Koeman is just trying to make a fucking Dutch team there. He wanted to sign him. It was linked with Wijnaldum from Liverpool. And I'm like, what the
Well,
fuck is this guy
dude,
doing?
did you see what Liverpool was trying to? Did you see the price tag they put on Wijnaldum?
What?
It was like 15 million.
I can believe. I think I could see that. Let me look. I'm gonna Google real
That
quick.
was that was the rumored price tag that I saw. It was 15 million.
It wouldn't shock me because he's 29 right now. I don't know how
Oh
much
God, I
time
didn't
he has.
think he was that
He's
old.
29. I don't know how much time he has left on his
Well,
contract.
I think it was just a year. I think that's why it was really
Yeah,
low.
then that would be it. I mean,
Yeah,
hey, for Barcelona, he's a decent player.
be a nice signing.
He's a good. I'll tell you what he is. He's a very reliable rotational player that
Hmm.
will work hard and won't shy away from some hard yards, which Barcelona's problem has been. Listen, before Real Madrid used to won the Champions League fucking 4 out of 5 years, you can ask Logan because I used to say this. The reason they always used to come up short is because they didn't have any grit in their team. They had a luxury midfield that when it came to a close game, they couldn't hang. But and I always used to say, if they brought back Casemiro from his loan and have him in the midfield doing the dirty work, a lot of things would change, and it did. Which, hey, if you're listening, Real Madrid, I mean, you can bring me out as a scout. I know what I'm looking at. But
He's got experience.
I got experience. Hey, I got a year of coach under my belt too. I uh, Logan and I, we led a team to their first win in almost 2 years, so that should tell you everything you need to know. But it would be a good player for them. They don't have work rate really in their team. Like when I watch them play and I watch them lose, it looks like teams just outrun them and outwork them. Bayern Munich just steamrolled them, and there was nothing they can do. Like Wijnaldum is just as good as Vidal right now in every capacity at his on his worst day. So
Well, I mean,
they're
you can also make the argument that they were also um, kind of older too and slower
yeah,
in
they
a
are. I
sense.
mean, Jordi Alba is kind of like he's
He's
definitely up there. PK's up there. Lenglet I think is good, but I
yeah,
think
Lenglet's good.
him and PK don't mix well. Ter Stegen's really good. Semedo, he's a decent player. Um, De Jong, he's great. I thought letting go of Arthur was a bad move, but
Oh
I
yeah,
think
I
maybe
forgot. Where did he go? He went to Juve, right?
Juventus, yeah.
Yep.
I think and maybe that's a sign right there. And everybody was scratching their head about that, but that tells
Hmm.
you, if Messi's
It was a
saying the
swap
president,
move, right? For
uh,
Pjanic.
yeah, which is a bad
He's
move in
slow
my
too.
opinion. But he's like a typical bar. Like if you have possession the whole game, yeah, but
Uh,
if you, I don't know, I haven't really been that impressed with like Juventus's midfield last year. I thought that's kind of what has let them down in the Champions League this past year.
hmm.
Defensively, yes, somewhat,
Rabio,
but
garbage.
Rabiot and Pjanic and
Uh,
Bentancur, so they kind of Matuidi just left them too.
Tweety, he was
So
garbage too.
um, he was up there, and their midfield let him down. And Pjanic is a very good ball player. He's very good on set pieces, but he doesn't have that good of legs under him anymore. Um, but and I thought that was just a very bad move of Barcelona. And hey, I mean Messi has a point. They're not being led in the right direction.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but you know, we'll see. We'll see what happens. But over, as far as like England goes and teams in Premier League, I mean, shit, hands
Chelsea.
down, Chelsea went off.
Yeah,
They went off.
it kind of
They
scares me.
Yeah, they were like, okay, transfer ban's done. Watch this. Like Kai Havertz done. Well, I mean, it took them a little bit of time, I don't, but it was like
Still
pretty
got
much,
him though. I mean,
but it was like confirmed like weeks ago. There's like he's going to Chelsea. Minor things they pretty much agreed, mostly everything. There was never really any question about it. You know what I
yeah.
mean? It was like seemed like it was done. Ziyech was done before the season ended. Timo Werner was done before the season ended. Got Ben Chilwell done pretty much, you know,
Yeah,
early.
that's a they got a that's a scary team, bro.
And then
That's
like,
gonna be a scary team.
and then Thiago Silva, a couple days after he loses with PSG
That one,
on
see,
Chelsea.
I was gonna talk about that. That one right there. I mean, he's 35, but he's also really
I,
experienced.
I,
Do you think that's gonna impact the way people are hyping this transfer up to be?
no, I actually think it's a good transfer, and here's my point to this because people say, oh, they let David Luiz go, blah blah blah, and they got him, and he's older. Thiago Silva has always been, it always will be better than David Luiz.
Mm.
Um, now, uh, with that being said, the way they play the game is very different. David Luiz likes to be on the ball, go forward, and distribute. Thiago Silva isn't really like that, so he's not as mistake prone. He doesn't. He's not as prone to his like big mistakes as David Luiz is, because David Luiz likes to get the ball and
And
he'll push up
often get caught behind
and
and
if he
doesn't have the
loses
speed
possession,
to back.
he's in big trouble. Exactly. So Thiago Silva is a safer type style of player. You know what I mean? And I think whoever he plays with is probably good. If he plays, say, like somebody like Rudiger, who's a very good athlete, okay, that could mix well. Maybe if you have Thiago Silva, kind of the brain of the back line.
Well, I was saying to me, I thought that move was more so for the experience side.
Well, yeah, and I'll tell you this, even if he's shit and the rest of them are good,
He can still teach. You know what I mean?
well, he can still teach, and it's like, but my point is no matter what, their transfer window is going to be fucking awesome because Ziyech is a very good player,
Underrated. I wanted him
and
last
well,
transfer window.
and like he always played well in Ajax, and like he was such a creative player.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? And it's like you never can go wrong sometimes with players like that. At least taking a chance with him. He was only like 25 million, which is nothing.
And he's young. He's really young too.
Uh, I think
Well,
he's
he's mid 20s, right?
26.
Mid 20s. Yeah.
So
I mean, that's still young
he's
though
27. But that's fine. He's in his prime.
in his prime. Yeah,
So
and
for
he's proven
25,
too.
25 million for a guy that does well in Champions League,
Champions League
um,
finalist.
very creative play. Yeah, very uh,
Versatile. You play him through the midfield.
play him as a 10, play him out wide. So awesome. Timo Werner, amazing. Kai Havertz, one of the most promising midfielders, attacking midfielders in the world right
Big,
now.
fast.
And yes, kind of a new era Frank Lampard.
Hmm.
So
And they still have
um,
Pulisic on the wing.
Pulisic, they have, but they're bringing Ben Chilwell
Chilwell.
to fix the left back hole they had.
And they
Hey,
have
they
depth at forward too, with
depth and Tammy Abraham still. And
Mason Mount.
and the thing is that they here's what Chelsea did.
We're
What
forgetting about
I
Conte
envy.
too.
Well, they're thinking about getting rid of Conte,
Oh yeah, that's right.
but
Well, I know Inter was linked with him.
um, God, I wish fucking United would buy him. I wish Pogba would say like, "Hey, you see when I play with France, who I play with behind me, get him, please." but but it's like what I envy is Chelsea had a plan. They looked at their team and said, "What can we improve on?" And they went out, okay, striker. Okay, Tammy Abraham did good, but I think maybe we should go for a truly elite striker. All right,
Yeah.
done. Midfield pretty good, young guys, but Kai Havertz is kind of available. He's kind of
more creativity than what they had
Yeah,
before.
he's kind of like more world renowned of being the next best thing. All right, let's get him. Ziyech, okay, known as one of the most creative players in Europe. All right, let's get him. You know, Willian's leaving. We have a hole on the right hand side. Let's fill it. Okay, perfect. We need a left back really bad. All right, perfect. You know, pretty much
The back line was
one
probably
of the
the worst
yeah,
thing, and
one of
they
the
addressed
best.
it with
But
experience.
except for the goalie, that's where they haven't.
Oh,
But
that's what I was.
but
They were linked with that one goalie from Ajax,
you know,
09
they're
or something
also
like that.
linked with too is Sergio Romero, United's backup.
Hmm.
I actually think that'd be a good sign. I think Romero is actually a very good goalie. Um, I mean, you're talking about a guy who starts for Argentina and plays very well for them, and also, you know, was integral in them going to their World Cup final when they went
Hmm.
there. So he's a good goalie. I mean, he plays in. It's not like he never plays. He pretty much plays all of our like Europa League games and stuff like that, and he always does well. I think they said he played like 70 games and he had like 35 clean sheets, so about half his games are clean sheets, which is really good. So, you know, he's solid if they got him, or maybe the improvements they brought in to the defense, maybe that'll help Kepa. You know, maybe that'll make things easier. You know what I mean? Maybe another year, maybe some new faces around, some better leadership around. Maybe we'll settle him down.
Yeah,
You know, because I don't think he's going to be like a great keeper, but maybe he could just be average. You know, not all goalies go up and down. Like De Gea didn't start off as being awesome. You know, and it took him some years before he could really get his feet under him. But we'll see. I mean, hey, like hands down, they just fucking. I mean, they just went off using their fucking Russian blood money. So,
hmm
and you know, United have an ongoing fucking transfer saga with Jaden Sancho that
you guys
probably
are still linked with him. I mean, yeah, you guys are still linked with him. But I thought the transfer talks had broken down.
no, because if they say that, then it's like, oh well. Basically, the problem is that he would want the move, and the problem is United are just stingy as fuck, and they don't want to pay what Dortmund want. And they think Dortmund's just going to change their mind, but Dortmund have never changed their mind. If you want a Dortmund player, you have to
You
pay
got to
what the
pay their
fuck they
price.
want. They
Yeah.
did it with Obama, and they always say, "Oh, we're not selling." Well, they have a price; it's just high. They did it with Aubameyang. They did it with Ousmane Dembele. Um, to a point, they did it with Lewandowski. I'm thinking, what the fuck else am I thinking of? Mkhitaryan. They did the same thing with us when we were buying him. They have a price and they don't budge. You know, if you want their player, you have to pay top dollar for them. You have to pay what they want, what they see them valued as. And I mean, just as it is, Jaden Sancho is one of the. I mean, he's another one of the best, you know, up
He's
and coming
young.
players out there. 20 years old, the only player besides Messi to have over 15 goals and 15 assists in the league, in their leagues. So if he's doing that at 20 years old, they're like, hey, I mean, why the fuck would you not spend 120 million? United's problem is we want to give like 70 now and then another 30 and then like, you know, then another
They're
20
trying to take
later
the Arsenal way.
on. Yeah, so we're trying to do that, and Dortmund's like, no, we want it now or too bad, and we just can't do anything. And we signed Donny Van de Beek, and I'm
That's
actually
a good signing too.
I'm happy about that. He's
Rotational player. Good rotation.
exactly. He's
Depth.
versatile too. He can play number 10, he can play the 8, and he can also play defensive midfielder. So it's like that's kind of now I don't have to see McTominay and Fred play. So and Van de Beek is better than both of them. And he's not a better athlete than Scott McTominay, but everywhere else, as far as where it matters on a soccer field, he's better. And that's the problem
Well,
with like United is Pogba or Bruno eventually. I mean, somebody's gonna be hurt or somebody's gonna need a rest. And if you
especially
have a
with
player like
Pogba.
Well, yeah, and it's like that's what happened to United. I think
Hurt.
last year is that the reason we were having so many draws, or not really draws, but like close games, was because we played the same fucking team like almost 15 games in a row, where it's like somebody just needs a break, but the quality just dropped off a cliff, you know.
Yeah.
But I don't know. We'll see. And we're linked with Reguilon from Real Madrid, who was loaned out to Sevilla. And apparently Fabrizio Romano, who now is like the undisputed like transfer goat, like he just fucking knows everything. He said yesterday that Reguilon has been offered to Manchester United. That we've been offered him. Apparently, we were going to put a bid in for him for 25 million. They were going to offer him to us, and now we're just considering it. And I'm like, what the fuck is there to consider? He was voted by the players the best left back in La Liga. We just watched him fucking terrorize the left hand side of our or the right hand side of our team in the Europa League semifinal. I don't understand what the fuck that there is to think about. Luke Shaw can't play more than fucking 10 games at a time. And Brandon Williams, like, I like him because he works hard and he's an academy player, but
He's to
he
me he's just physicality is just
well, he's
from the
just
games
not.
that I've seen, it's just not there.
Yeah, he just like because in the Europa League final, he played very bad in my opinion. He just seemed behind the pace of it. He commits too hard on everything, and Regulon is a major step up from either one of him. Him and Shaw is a big upgrade, and I think it's a no-brainer. But we don't have anybody that makes the decisions. None of them have a brain. So
Well, if there's one thing that United and Arsenal have in common, it's the questions at the back line. So
yeah,
I
well,
mean, I just wish that we. Well, I can't really say that I wish we did something more to address it. You know, we signed that Gabriel dude from Lille, which he's to me, I've never seen him play. He's still questionable to me.
I've
William
heard,
Saliba is
I've heard,
questionable.
yeah, I've heard say Gabrielle that he's a good promising center back.
But that's the thing. I don't. People put so much faith into that word promising that they forget that that's even like still in the sentence because like yeah, I don't know if that makes any. I see. To me, I wanted us to go out and pay the money for Upamecano, but
Yeah,
we didn't, and now we're stuck. About to go into Fulham. I don't even know who our back line is going to be. Probably still going to be playing David Luiz, which is to me a problem. I
and
mean,
I agree with that.
he provides experience, but at the same time, looking at what he did in first game back from restart against City,
Yeah,
he
well,
gave away a penalty and then got sent off. He's going to have games like that. You don't. To me, if I'm a manager, I don't want my center backs to have games like that.
and
I
see
don't. I
my
don't think anybody would have wanted to have their center backs have games like that.
well, and see that's kind of my thing is that when I look at Arsenal right now, I see there's no point in playing David Luiz. There's no point playing Mustafi or anybody else because you're in a rebuilding project right now.
Mm-hmm.
So in my opinion, play Saliba and Gabriel. Let them get their feet under them. Don't put. But that's the problem with the Arsenal fan base. You know,
We
are
put a
they
lot
will?
of
Are
pressure on
they?
players.
Yeah, are they willing to say, hey, like nobody? We're not like everybody has to be realistic with themselves. Unless there's a gigantic collapse that from City and Liverpool, nobody else stands a chance of winning the league.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? So it's like don't you always have the hope, but let's not kid ourselves. You know what I mean? And it's like so there's no reason not to, and I think I think Arteta could be a good manager, and but the problem is you know he, I don't know. He has to play Gabriel and Saliba, I think, because I think that would say a lot about him and a lot about what he's trying to do, and I think the fans would appreciate that. Because I can tell you what'll happen if he starts playing Mustafi and David Luiz and start fucking up, and you guys start losing or dropping points. People are going to say, and you have no, and here's the thing too, if that happens, you have every right to question him, because then you could say, what the fuck was the point in buying either one of them if you don't fucking play him? We
Well,
know
and
what
that's
David Luiz play. We know what David Luiz brings. We know what Mustafi brings. We've watched them play forever. You know.
and that's also like it's also kind of like shooting themselves in the foot too, because when you continuously play Mustafi, and Mustafi's still in his 20s, so he's not really old. I mean, he still has years left under his feet, but you're lowering their value. So this what they call dead wood, you're not going to be able to get them out of the club because nobody would want them. So I mean, at the same time, you also not playing them. I don't know I don't know if other teams look at it and say, um, he doesn't play over so and so, so what's the point of buying him? Or, you don't really get any value out of that. And that's another thing too. We play Arteta's been playing a five in the back for so long. We have Kieran Tierney, and he's a really good player in my opinion. I think he's a really good left back, and I hope he stays. But I don't think he should be played as a center back. I think he should be played as a left back, out and out, and he should be getting up and down the field because I've seen him do it before. He is really good crossing, and he shouldn't just be being wasted at the back. So I don't know. Hopefully, Saliba and Gabriel can get the job done and take over the two center back spots. We still have a right back that we got to figure out. Bellerin's been linked with PSG. Um, Apparently, Ainsley Maitland-Niles. Apparently, he's staying. He's really good. I like him. So I don't know. And then keeper situation. Emi Martinez is playing really good. But then you got Leno. It's kind of like split. You got the Leno fan base and you got the Emi Martinez fan base. People are saying to sell Leno and then keep Emi. I don't know. There's a lot of questions that still needs to be answered. Hopefully, it doesn't get in the way of what's supposed to happen this season. Hopefully, we can qualify for top four. Doubt it, but
Well, it's gonna be hard because is it because you gotta look at too, like at the end of the transfer window. Well, I would say as of right now, I mean, I would say definitely top three right now is Chelsea, City, Liverpool. I'd say this: if Chelsea don't get top three, then they should fire Frank Lampard. If they don't get top four, he should just fucking resign himself because they have gone above and fucking beyond. Like could you imagine any manager right now? Like if like they just went out and bought everybody you fucking want, you have no excuse then. You've literally no excuse. And, it'll be hard for United. It'll be kind of maybe like last year. I mean, yeah, you have Pogba and Bruno, but it's like
you
the
guys
starting.
basically have like the same team, right?
Yeah, it would be the same. The only signing we've made is Van de Beek. So it's rotational, which is good, but still, it's like our starting 11 and key spots like Martial, Rashford, and then Bruno, Pogba are really good.
And then there's no depth, right?
Yeah. Then it's like you have Greenwood,
I don't
who's
even know.
good, but you can't. But Greenwood, he's still 18. He didn't turn 19 till like fucking December. You're talking about still an 18-year-old kid, even though he scored 17 goals last year. Like, how can you really put that much pressure on a fucking 18-year-old to pick up all the slack? And but you know, but I think a lot of things will change if we sign Jadon Sancho. Then I think definitely then we have to be in the mix for top four, or something has got to change again. So, because if you're looking at Martial, Sancho, and Rashford as your front three with Pogba and Bruno behind, then that's pretty fucking good. You can't
Just gotta hope the defense holds up.
well, yeah, pretty much. I mean, the fridge that we have in the back that can't run, but I don't know. I guess we'll have to see what happens.
Hey,
Just
what about Liverpool? I haven't heard much other
well, that
than them getting.
hey, I'll tell you what. I'm happy because you know what this tells me right now. This is the sign of a team that has climbed their Mount Everest and are ready to
Reached the
take.
top.
They reached the top and they're done. They won the Champions League, and then the next year they won the Premier League. They that was that's what separates. Well, and it's the club. I guarantee you, Klopp probably wishes he could do it, keep going, but um, it's just the team that's hit the peak, and I
Yeah,
think they're gonna fall off.
Wijnaldum's going to be the first. Well,
Well,
probably the
it's
first one to
just
go.
it's because it's being complacent, you know, and I think that's what's happened. It's going to happen to them. I'm hoping that happens. I think they're going to be complacent with their success. But the thing is what they don't realize is when you slip up a little bit, when you're on top, everybody's chasing you, and you have to try to refresh. That's why Alex Ferguson was the greatest ever, because he used to say that he celebrated the title win that night, and then he got up the next day and went back to work to make sure he won it again the next year. And he only wanted players that were hungry. So every time he'd win a title, he'd reshuffle some players, get some new fresh blood in there, some hungry people, so he could mount the charge again. And that's what Liverpool aren't doing. They're not going for it again. They're not getting a refresh. They're not sending some people out and bringing some new in.
Yeah,
Because and the thing is
keeping.
with Liverpool's think about Liverpool's style. They don't. It's not like they have like an easy kind of style that's kind of easy to fit in. It's a fucking rigorous, um, very draining style of play.
And they're very lucky that their players don't really get hurt that often too.
Oh, well, have you heard about the little
The asthma thing.
uh-huh. That
Yeah.
just so happened, like I think almost every player but five are diagnosed with asthma. Uh, okay. I mean,
They bring them in for their physical and ask them if they have asthma, and if they say yes, they just sign them automatically.
yeah. Yeah. And they give them that shit, and it's like, because it is. There's a lot of benefits for having certain inhalers and
That's
certain.
and I'm glad we talked about Liverpool too, because watching them in the Community Shield, and seeing that the team that they put out, and then the substitutions that they made, it's just like they've kept literally the same exact team, except they just moved up some youngsters. You know what I mean?
For the same team for basically 3 years now.
Yeah.
And I
And
thought,
and that's what I was saying. I said they're really lucky that their players don't really get hurt like that.
yeah,
Nobody's going to replace what I mean, Trent didn't play, but nobody's going to replace what Andy Robertson does. Firmino
yeah,
goes down. Who are you going to bring
uh-huh.
in?
No, exactly. That's a very, very, very good point. Because if Van Dyke, if Van Dyke got an injury and was out for fucking 3 months, they're not winning a league. They're not winning a Champions League. They can do it without Jordan Henderson. I hate to fucking burst everybody's bubble. They can do it without him, but they can't do it without Salah. They can't do it without Mane. They can't do it without Firmino. They can't do it without Robertson or Trent or Van Dyke. I'd say they can't do it without Fabinho. I think Fabinho's more important than Jordan Henderson. I think um, there's a lot of things that they can't go without, and they are very fortunate. Maybe there's other things at play here why their players don't get hurt. Maybe they have some special doctors for some special recovery sessions that probably are banned. And I used to say that all the time because I've never seen a fucking team run that goddamn hard the entire game, every fucking game they play,
And
and
not
I
get hurt.
and not get hurt, no hamstring, no fatigue, no nothing. I was like, man, this just seems kind of odd. I remember I said it like 2 years ago. I was like, man, it must be nice. Do
Science
they test them?
projects.
Do they test them for fucking EPO? You know, fucking doping, blood doping, and all that kind of shit. It's just, I don't know. I mean, maybe not. Maybe I'm just a hater, but that's okay because I fucking hate Liverpool anyway. Uh, But yeah, I don't know. I mean, they're
Well,
just. I hope they. And then when I watched in the Community Shield, it was like kind of weird because it's like you. When I was watching it, I was almost just waiting for them to like, because they'd get in good spots, but I was. I don't know if how you felt about it, but I was waiting for Liverpool to turn it on. Do you know what I'm saying?
and that's kind of crazy you say that too, because I'm pretty sure I texted you and said that I don't know if I texted you or not, but I was almost saying like Liverpool or Arsenal are playing like keep up right now.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, they had that 20-minute spell where it was just like they had possession and they just kept passing the ball around. And that one substitution they made, what's his name? Japanese guy.
Oh,
Uh,
Mina Mayo.
Whatever the hell his name is. He played really good, but that's the thing with Arteta. He made, I mean, I don't know if it was just because like they might have been tired from that 20 minutes, but he made the substitutions at the right time where I thought that we were going to score and end up winning the game.
Minamino.
So, yeah, Minamino. But yeah,
Yeah, I thought I was watching it and like when they'd have possession, it was like I'm like I'm waiting for them to
I kind of
turn it
figured they
on.
were going to score.
The because that was the thing. Liverpool would play like the past 2 years with an intensity that when they turn it up, nobody's keeping up with just the pace everybody's sprinting at, the constant cross. Well, and that's a big thing too. They didn't have Trent, so like not having Trent putting in like top quality crosses, and I was like, but still,
You could
Robertson
also
played.
see throughout that game too. They kind of stuck on the. They were kind of sticking to the left side.
Yeah, it seemed like a pretty complacent performance for what I watched them play.
I don't know how
And
Sadio Mane didn't. Uh, I don't know how Sadio Mane didn't score majority of the chances that he had.
well, he does that. He's like that. He's been like that for a while. He's either on fire or he's fucking misses tap-ins. And but hopefully it's the fall of them. But
Yeah, I bet you would say that. Well, I mean, we'll see this week. Premier League's back. We got the first game starting off against Fulham, 7 a.m.
easy
here.
win.
Shit, you say that.
Dude, I just
We're
imagine
gonna
Arsenal fan
we're gonna
TV if you lose the first game.
we're gonna fucking come out with a back four of Rob Holding, David Luiz.
Kolasinac on the left.
We're probably gonna play Colasin, dude. We're gonna play Nketiah over Lacazette.
Dude, if that back line is like that, you should, Arsenal fan TV should be like, I don't even care what the result
I
was.
mean,
Fuck that out.
it's almost like being an Arsenal fan. If it happens, you just can't be surprised. You know what I mean? It's almost just like, yeah, I've seen that before. So what?
I
So
felt that way. That was what I felt when Mourinho was United's coach. Because when we'd have our big games and then he'd bench Pogba, that used to fucking get under my skin more than anything in the world. I'm like, okay, let's just bench our best player. That seems like a really smart, well thought out, game plan to beat a team is not playing your best
well,
player.
I don't know if you heard about it, but we lost to Aston Villa 3-2 behind a closed door scrimmage. So life as an Arsenal fan. You know, that's not something that you want to see. But apparently Ozil played that game too. So
I think Arsenal's. I think most. I don't really think it's as much as the players. I don't think. No, I don't think it's the coaching. I think it's more of the.
it's the front office. Has to
I
be.
think no. I think it's all the players Arsenal have. They're good when they're up, but when they go through a rough patch, a lot of those players will fucking give up, and I think the managers pay the price for that.
Well, to me, I think this is the biggest year because we address the back line. So I don't want to say there's no excuses, but you know there's got to be some patience added. But at the same time, there can't be any
Well,
excuses. I guess the only thing that you can really say is we have no creativity in the midfield. So I think that's going to be the one thing that lets us down. But front three, we should be okay. We always seem to score goals. We're getting better at pressing. You
well, if
know,
I tell you this, if Aubameyang gets hurt, that's a player for
oh
you
yeah,
guys. That
if
if he
Aubameyang
gets
gets hurt,
hurt,
we're done.
that's
Because
it.
nobody else is going to score.
Well, he
Like
scores too many goals to make up. Like
Yeah.
it's not like he's one of the top scorers in the league pretty much every
especially
single season.
especially with
So
our away form over the past few years.
it's been
Yeah,
all him. Yeah,
yeah.
he basically is the only person that scores away goals. But
Hopefully, Lacazette can pick up the slack this year. But
yeah, time will tell. But yeah, I'm pretty
top four
sure.
predictions before we get
Uh,
out.
well, I mean, I guess it's starting soon. I'm gonna say first place. I think City are gonna win the league again. I think they're gonna win it this year. I think they're gonna come out strong because I think they're gonna be very embarrassed of the way last season went, and I think Nathan Ake will make a big difference.
I forgot about Nathan Ake too.
So,
Good
in their
signing.
link with Koulibaly, so if they get him
Yeah, they could just chalk
too.
up an undefeated season.
I, I think they'll be the favorites. Um, I think it's easier to be the favorites when you have the best player in the league in De Bruyne. I think it makes everything a lot easier and the best squad depth in the league. So I think they're going to be first. I think Chelsea are going to finish second. I think
Chelsea?
I think Chelsea are going to finish second.
I'm not gonna knock that. I can see that.
If
I'm
things
not
go
gonna knock
right with the players they sign, I think they can finish second. I don't think I think City are going to be like I think they're going to get like a 90 plus point season. I think they're going to be on fire. But I think 3 through 4 is going to be a big drop off. I think Chelsea are going to get third. I think
You said Chelsea
Liverpool
second.
Chelsea second. I think Liverpool are going to get third, and I think United are going to get fourth. Depending on, I think we're going to get fourth. And I think if we got Sancho, then I'd say it could be a toss up between us and Liverpool for third. Uh, but I think United, if injuries don't hinder us, I say we get. I think we get four. I think our starting 11 is a, about fourth place quality, and in its entirety.
Knocked the doors down with that Chelsea prediction. I don't know. I think the table is going to be kind of similar to what it was this past season, with the with the exception of Arsenal finishing eighth. I'm going to be optimistic and say that they're not going to finish that far down, but I'm not going to say that they're going to finish that far high. But starting from one, I'm going to say the same thing. I'm going to say City's going to have a 90 plus point season. Because they had a lot of injuries last year to their back line.
Yes.
Laporte got hurt. Um, them getting all their players healthy again. That's going to be big. I'm going to say Chelsea and Liverpool probably second and third. I'm probably going to say Liverpool is going to finish second, only because they're still well coached. They still have really good players. Um, Chelsea's not going to be too far behind, though, in my opinion, because Chelsea making all those moves and stuff like that. I think it's going to be interesting to see how their back line plays out. Because to me, Thiago Silva is a good signing, but is he really going to take that back line to the next level to what it was before? And you still have Kepa in goal. Um, fourth place. Fourth place, that's kind of hard for me. Um, I'm not gonna say United can't finish fourth, but at the same time, I'm gonna knock Leicester City out of there because I still think Leicester City's a good team, but I just think that um, I don't think they'll be on that good of form as they were from last year. I don't think they can replicate it.
Yeah.
So I think maybe fourth or fifth. Fourth, fifth, and sixth are going to be between Arsenal, United, and do I throw Leicester City in there? 4, 5, and 6.
Could.
It's going to be
What
close.
about Spurs?
I think it's going to be. I don't know about Spurs. See, as much as I don't like Spurs, they're I don't know. Spurs is one of those teams where I just don't know about. You don't know if Spurs are going to be good or not. whole new back line. Serge Aurier sucks.
But no, they signed Doherty from
Oh yeah,
Wolves.
Doherty. That's
I think
right.
that's a good
That's
signing.
Doherty.
They
No
are losing
Vertonghen.
Vertonghen.
No Vertonghen. Who's their left back? Davies. Is it
Uh,
still, is it still him?
I guess. I think so.
I don't know who their midfield is. Apparently, a lot of Spurs fans I see don't like Ndombele.
They
Um,
have Winks. I think he's pretty. I actually think Harry Winks is pretty decent.
I don't know. I think
He's a good like hustle and bustle type midfielder. Like he
I
leaves it
think
all kind of out there.
yeah, but like I said, I think the fourth spot's gonna be really close between 4, 5, and 6 between Arsenal, United, and either Spurs or Leicester. I'm not gonna single out Wolves either. Wolves are a really good team.
Mm.
Um, so yeah,
Well, you got to pick a fourth. You got to pick one.
I'm not gonna pick a fourth.
You got to pick a fourth.
I don't want to pick a fourth
You have
because
to pick a
if
fourth.
I pick a fourth, you know who I'm gonna pick.
Ooh, pick him. Say it. Put it out
I'm
there.
gonna Arsenal and Aubameyang scoring 30 goals this season.
All right. Well, you heard it here from Trey. Arteta's leading them to fourth place, and Aubameyang's getting the golden boot. It's possible. I'm not gonna say it's impossible, because believe me,
Or I'm not gonna knock it down either. Arsenal could win the Europa League. So I mean, there's multiple ways that we could get it, but I think that fourth place is sort of it's been competitive for the past few years, and I still think it's going to continue to be competitive. So, and we improved our back line. We still need a creative midfielder.
well,
And
you never know, because as fragile as our fan bases are, things can change real quick if we go on a losing streak, and next thing you know, hashtag whoever is out.
oh, that's
So
fair.
like that's the thing. Like United could be there if we lose a few games. I tell you this:
The
if
Ollie
we
trend.
sign,
It's the Ollie trend.
if we fucking sign Jaden Sancho, and then we go through a losing spell this season where we're outside the top four by more than 6 points, he's getting fired, and I'll guarantee it. Because then he can't say he hasn't been backed.
Chill out.
I'm not saying I want him
It's the
to. I'm
Ollie
saying
trend, bro.
I,
It's the
I'm
hashtag
I'm
Ollie
just
trend.
I'm just saying what'll happen. Um, that's what our board will do. And I think Arsenal fans would do the same thing.
I don't think
Arsenal,
it's
I'll say
it's
this.
going to be mostly. I don't think we can put the blame on our coach. I think it's got to be our owners.
Well, I'll say this. After what they did to Arsene Wenger, I'd say nothing is impossible. You guys broke that old man's heart.
You're right. I mean, people gave people were so quick to turn on Emery, and I mean you know, I mean.
I
Emery's
think
just one of those things. Emery's just one of those things where I feel like his time was up regardless. I mean, losing like that in the
yeah.
Europa League, and then not even just the Europa League. We had so many chances to make the Champions League, and he just couldn't do it.
I just think it might have been a bad fit for him. I think Emery is a good coach. He's had a lot of good moments. Fuck, he won the Europa League 3 times with Sevilla. I think he's a good coach. I just think maybe the fit there for Arsenal wasn't right. You never know. I think there's a lot of things that go into it. But
But like I said, I've said this in a lot of episodes that we've done before. I think that Arteta is a good coach, and I think that we finally he brought something to the players that made the players want to play for him. And you can actually you can see there's a clear cut difference from the time Emery left around whenever it was the winter time to where we are now. You can tell there's a big difference. There's a structure in the team that Emery didn't have. Emery was changing up the lineups every week, and
yeah,
you didn't know who was going to play. Arteta's made Xhaka probably our most vital midfielder that we have. We look like a completely different team without him. And that's actually, if I were to go back in time and tell you that in December that Xhaka was going to be one of the most important players in our team, I would have been
yeah.
I would have been a meme. I probably would have been made a meme.
Especially
So
when he yelled at the crowd, drew his
exactly,
jersey. But
exactly.
well, anyway, I think we pretty much covered everything we were looking for tonight. But are you good?
I'm straight.
Okay. All right. All right, guys. Well, thanks for tuning in to another episode. Hopefully, we will be better. You know what? I'm not gonna say hopefully we're gonna be better. We will be better.
We will.
Okay. We're gonna have a podcast out by the end of the week.
Two
That is,
podcasts. Two.
we're gonna have a podcast. We
We're gonna
can't.
have two.
We can't shoot that far, but we're gonna
Oh,
have
come
one
on.
at least. And hopefully everybody's still staying safe, staying healthy, and all that kind of stuff. Make sure to head over to the Uncalled For Twitter, and even our YouTube channel. I'm gonna start. I put the last one up there on YouTube, so look out for that there if you want to listen to it there. Um, I want to actually start incorporating maybe a Zoom style podcast that we can do, maybe for a video that we could put onto YouTube. Maybe that'll be more entertaining for you guys, and easier to follow just seeing us. But anyway, hopefully you guys are doing well. Check us out on YouTube, Spotify, iTunes. Follow us on Twitter at the Uncalled For, and we will see you guys in the next episode.
See ya.